Welcome to the February 2021 version of GeoSaurus Unleashed, and we're so excited to continue our series of Geospatial Arch Grant recipients. We're into our third one. Hopefully that you've had the opportunity to hear Ali Al-Jabri from Quima and Byron Porter from Hum Technical Industries. Certainly I learned a lot by interviewing them, understanding their technology, and just both of them fascinating individuals. Also wanted to highlight, I hope that you had the opportunity to attend our first Geo Innovations. This is a speaker series, which is collaboration between Cortex and T-Rex and GeoFutures. We kicked that off last week, and our first speaker for that was Dr. Chris Tucker, the chairman of the American Geographic Society. And if you didn't get a chance to hear that, make sure you tune into the next one. Chris is just an incredible speaker. He's very passionate. And if you, the other wonderful thing about Chris, if you want to learn more about him, he wrote a book called Planet of 3 Billion, where in that book you'll see he makes the basic premise that the planet is designed to sustain 3 billion people, and I think we're at 7.8. But he gives you some some solutions to mitigate that. So anyway, great series. This coming month in March, we're going to have the executive vice president from Maxar, which is Tony Frazier. That'll be moderated by former CEO of Boeing, Dennis Muhlenberg. So if you see those advertisements out there, make sure that you register for those. So with that, I'll go ahead and transition to the speaker for tonight's series, our guest of honor, Whitney McClendon Gregory. She's the founder of Eemerg Roadside Assistance Marketplace. Assist Marketplace. And I'm looking forward to chatting with Whitney for a couple different reasons. One, we haven't really got a chance to talk up until most recently here. And two, I'm kind of that guy that is traveling on the road, and I inevitably have some kind of issue with my car and call the local place and get charged an arm and a leg, and it's never a pleasant experience. So I'm hoping with this new technology, Whitney, that you able to mitigate some of the pain for me. So with that, Whitney, again, thanks for joining us this afternoon, and I hope you're doing well.
I am doing really well, and Eemerg will definitely help you the next time you have a roadside emergency. Yeah, I'm excited.
Okay,
it's going really good.
Good. Glad to have you, and glad to support the Arch Grant recipient. So why don't we just jump right into it? So, hey, what we like to do in these forum, just tell us a little bit about your background and how did you get here?
So I am a third generation tow truck operator, which essentially means I have my own set of tow trucks and service vehicles. And so we were looking for a way to scale a family business. And Eemerg just was the perfect fit for us. My husband is a computer programmer, and so we kind of merged the two together, and Eemerg was born. We were looking for a way to expand, to scale, and not have to take on the overhead of new trucks, new employees. And we knew that we can do this on a larger scale. So Eemerg was the perfect solution.
Mm-hmm. So are you a native St. Louisan or from
yes,
the region?
St. Louis, born and raised. Okay. I know what you're going to ask me. I'm a Cleveland and JROTC graduate.
Okay, yeah. So I'm not from St. Louis, and so I never asked that question because one, it doesn't mean anything to me, and two, I just everybody asked me that when I moved here, and I'm like, what? Who cares where I went to high school?
It is a real thing. I was actually on a call with someone from Chicago, and they were like, "Oh, I was a teacher here. So what high school did you go to?" And I was like, "Burn that question. It's it's not a thing, but it has to be because people outside of St. Louis are like, "Oh, well, what high school did you go to?"
Yeah, that's always an interesting question. All right, well, so let's dig into the technology of Eemerg a little bit. So, what's the basic premise, and how does it work?
So essentially, whenever a customer is in the middle of a roadside emergency, they can go right now to our web app, select whatever service they need for their vehicle, and we, through our real-time service, send a blast message to all the providers in that area that are servicing the area at the time. They all have the opportunity to respond with real-time pricing and ETAs. So instead of you calling the average company, you would go to Emerge, and those companies would then begin to compete to service you. So everybody is providing their best prices and their quickest response times because they want to get this job. So you don't have the stress and the anxiety of like, I'm overpaying and I'm already stressed because my car is messed up. And so we eliminate all of that. We streamline the process, we simplify it, and get you a provider as quickly as possible.
Okay, so so it emits the app grabs the coordinates from your phone or your smart device or whatever, and transmit that um, to surrounding or service providers. Can you set a filter, so that you're like, hey, I'm kind of in a hurry. I don't want
Yeah.
you to consider somebody outside of 50 miles. So something like that.
So essentially, like we pinpoint your location when you are submitting the request. And then based on that location, everyone that has coverage in that radius responds. They will respond with how long it will take them, and you will see how many miles they are away from your actual incident. Once you get that information, you're able to choose which one works best for your budget and your time frame. So you're able to see three things. You're able to see their price, their ETA, and their service rating on our platform. And from that information, you're able to make a concise choice about which provider you want to service your vehicle.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I could have used that. I probably could have saved a lot of money too. So that's exciting. So how long has this been around? How long have you been working this?
We launched Emerge in March of 2019, and we have been going strong ever since. We started out just in St. Louis. Right now, we service St. Louis, Miami, and Atlanta, St. Louis metropolitan area, which includes some parts of Illinois. And so we've expanded quite a bit since launching, but we are mainly focused on Midwest growth.
Okay. Do you have is there I guess a feedback loop to your development team on enhancements that people would like to see, or?
We do a lot of customer discovery. After every service call, the customers have an opportunity to leave a review. We ask a few questions about what they liked and didn't like. And we have also done like huge, like intense customer discovery. The things that we have seen the most is that people want something simple. People want something that's quick, that they don't have to think about, and they don't have to remember until they need it. So like no membership numbers, get rid of those. No policy numbers, get rid of those. No membership fees, get rid of those. And so we've kind of like taken all that information and bottled it together to create Eemerg.
Yeah. Well, I can see how as a parent, I have children that are in their 20s, but I remember them going back and forth to school. One went to Mizzou and one went to Missouri State, and when you're on the road, you're hoping something doesn't happen. But it sounds like you've made that simple enough where if they're traveling and the check engine light comes on, and I tell them to pull over instead of keep on driving, then it's simple enough for them to be able to make a decision and get some kind of assistance immediately.
100%. So I have a 23-year-old and an 18-year-old. Both of them are in college. And so one of our biggest obstacles was making sure that parents knew when something was going on with their kids. And so we created a system called what we call Family Pay. And with Family Pay, parents are able to get a text notification, see what's going on with their child's car, see any pictures or videos that their child has uploaded, along with like what side the flat tire is on, or if their keys are locked in their car. And they're also able to pay for the service. So if my son, say, gets a flat tire in the middle of the night, I'm able to see what's going on and then pay for it if he's not able to do so, which really gives parents a lot of relief and a lot less anxiety.
Yeah. That's great. So when you calculate the estimated time of a response, is that just pure distance calculation, or so for instance, if I see this when we used to have traffic jams where a car may overheat or something, and because it's a traffic jam, so now it becomes disabled. I guess my question is, does it calculate or factor in traffic and any type of issues like that, road construction or whatever?
So we go by based on the shortest route to get to the customer, and we're updating those routes on a regular basis. I'm not sure if they're enhanced enough to detect like construction or traffic jams, but we go based on the shortest route to the actual customer. If a provider is unable to fulfill a call for any reason, then we go to the next closest and give them the opportunity. If they agree with the pricing and everything, we dispatch that provider next. So we try to keep this simple and to the point.
Yeah, great. All right, thanks. All right, so you talked about using this technology with roadside assistance. Do you have any thoughts on other industries that could or use cases that could this kind of technology or platform could be equally beneficial?
100%. Anything from traveling to hiring a painter. Like we've seen so many things use geolocation and geo-tracking that like you would be surprised. Right now we're in Techstar Chicago with a company called Improvie, and Improvie uses geolocation to pinpoint you the best painter and get them to your house to paint your house. And you wouldn't even think that it would be a thing, but people are like, I want somebody to paint my house today who can come do it in the quickest fashion.
Mm.
So anything can use geolocation, especially with everybody wanting things so quickly and at their fingertips.
Sounds like it would be something really good for the plumbing industry if
Yes.
because usually when you need a plumber, it's usually for like immediate.
Immediately, right.
That's right. So, all right, that's great. So I mean, all of us we've been impacted at some level with the pandemic, and it affects people differently. So can you tell us a little bit about how the pandemic has affected Eemerg?
You know what? Let me start by saying COVID, like it was the worst point for Eemerg. We had so much growth and we had done so quickly that when people stopped driving, we hit a brick wall.
Mhm.
Like you have to imagine like 100% of our jobs are people on the road. And when 70% of the world just stops driving because of stay-at-home orders and like being sick, like it's very detrimental to a transportation business. So we were hugely affected during the pandemic, but we were able to pivot. We were able to shift our focus, our target audience. We didn't really change our business model. We just chose we chose different customers to focus on in the middle of that situation. And so we were able to keep the customers coming in, offer discounts and deals, and make sure that we continue to emerge and accelerate change. But yeah, it was really difficult for us to step outside of that. And I talked to a lot of people in this space that helped us to like come up with great ideas and great ways to sustain during that time.
Yeah, I mean, there is one. I mean, we were going at T-Rex. We were going at lightning speed, and it was really disruptive the pandemic, especially. But I mean, there was part of it where, it was an opportunity to kind of pause and take, start looking at things strategically and build strategic partnerships that I think are going to be beneficial when we come out the back end of this. So yeah, it is definitely disruptive, but on one hand, it gives you that strategic pause that allow you to assess
It
where you're at.
really opened up other avenues, partnerships and things that we did not even think were a way that we wanted to go. I'm a lot more flexible than I was before. Like, I'm a person that has a plan, and like, so we stick to this plan until we can't, and then we strategize. And so like hitting that wall was an eye opener to the need to be flexible, the need to be transparent, and the need to just ebb and flow.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you're able to pivot. And again, I hope coming out of the back end of this, it makes your company stronger, and you have built the relationships during that time that will benefit you. So is this your first entrepreneurial venture?
Yes. Outside of this, like we own real estate here in St. Louis, and I guess you can say that's entrepreneurial, but not really. So yeah, this is the first time I've stepped outside of like an actual 9-to-5 job. I did some design work beforehand, just freelance alongside my husband, but never anything to this extent.
Yeah. So, I mean, as a kind of a novice entrepreneur, being in this, being an Arch Grant recipient, and being in this innovation environment or community, and this geospatial um, ecosystem, what are your thoughts about the resources that are provided to you as a relatively new entrepreneur in this community?
This community has been amazing. Some of my, like all of my mentors are here in St. Louis. I speak to some of them on a weekly basis. Just keeping us connected, keeping me grounded, having a sounding board. It's been really, really amazing. As a diverse founder, finding connections with people was a bit difficult at first. But once you open yourself up to opportunity, like the sky's the limit, and it's been great.
Yeah, good. Um, so we only have a couple more questions, but this is I guess starting to understand you a little bit better. So when you're not working on Emerge, what can we find Whitney doing?
You can find me designing. That's a passion. Um, I don't have a background in design, like a degree in design. I have a degree in psychology, actually. But I love to design. I love Photoshop, Illustrator, UX, UI. Everything that you've seen on the front face of Emerge has been my design. I love to read and to learn new things. Right now, I'm juggling like 2 or 3 different books outside of working. But yeah, those are things I love to do. I love being a mom.
Yeah.
My boys are 23, 18, and 7. So it's been a huge shift, homeschooling and, managing everyday life outside of a business. So yeah, that's essentially what I do.
So you have 3 boys, you said?
3 boys. Yes.
Okay, you said so you don't have nice things in your house?
No, not at all. Not at all.
I grew up with brothers and 1 sister, so yeah, my parents didn't get anything nice until we left.
I plan on completely remodeling in about 4 years. Michael will be old enough. My youngest is 7 now. He'll be going into preteens, so he'll be a bit more responsible. But like, you may find a little marker here or there. Magic Eraser is my very best friend. All of my furniture is like very heavy duty, sturdy furniture because they bounce, they drop, they spill. Like, it's the norm. Like, it's going to happen. So just accept it and move on.
Yeah. exactly. So did they inherit the entrepreneurial spirit from you? Or?
Yes, my
Okay.
middle son is it's bananas. Right now he is stuck on like this stock market, Dogecoin, Bitcoin type of like he is so enamored with like being in business. Like he goes to Webster and he has a full ride scholarship. He's studying business. He wants to like program and be multifaceted. And we're telling him like, slow down, pick something that you love. Don't base everything, like this is a business and but you still have to get hired. Like there's no nepotism here. Like you still have to work hard. But even my baby is like, I'm the co-CEO of Eemerg. Like not I'm an intern, like you go right to the point. I'm a co-CEO. I'm a business owner. So it's definitely in the house.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Um, so one of the reasons we want to host Arch Grant recipients and expose their company is for just connecting you as part of the geospatial community. So if anybody is interested in following up with you or getting a demonstration, what's the best way of contacting you?
They can contact us on our website, of course, at eemerg.com. If they want to email us, they can email us at support.com. Find us on any socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, maybe. I'm not a big Twitter person. I'm learning, but definitely Facebook and Instagram, we respond. So we're everywhere. LinkedIn, anywhere that you can see Eemerg, 9 times out of 10, I'm the person you're going to talk to.
And hopefully soon at T-Rex, right?
Well, already at T-Rex.
Oh.
I just have to,
You have to get there.
yeah, I just have to like put my fears aside and step outside of my house for more than 5 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's all the questions I had. BJ, I haven't been monitoring the question and answering from the audience. Is there any out there?
Yeah, we've had a few come in here. We have from Tom Van Cleve asking a little earlier on how when you're calling a tow truck through your platform, how can you be guaranteed that the individual in crisis on the roadside knows that the company responding is reputable and qualified?
We go through a 3-part application process. The first part, you can sign up, give us your basic information. The second part is a bit more intrusive. We get your driver's license, insurance. We have insurance requirements that you have to meet to be a provider for Eemerg. We get your banking information, tax information, and then finally we do a background check. Providers are encouraged to send in a background check or pay for a background check that we do. And we do all 3 of those things for every driver every company that's on Eemerg in our network.
Great. Let's see, we have, you mentioned a side real estate business. The question is, have you maybe considered any applications of geospatial technology to real estate as a next side enterprise?
You know what? We have real estate properties here. And when I shifted from working every day to wanting to be more entrepreneurial, that was my first step, leaving my job and managing those properties. And it was very tedious for me. It was not something that I enjoyed, which caused my shift into something more creative. So I have not looked twice. And I'm going to be honest, it would probably be an amazing space to do something geospatial, but I'm going to see where Eemerg takes us first. Right now, it's my focus, and maybe as the next enterprise.
Great, yeah, good answer there. We have, where do you see your business in a year from now?
I see Eemerg in at least 5 new cities. We are growing and expanding as we speak. I also see us adding some cool new features, and that'll be in the next 6 months. We're adding 2 features that I think will be amazing for customers. I can't wait for them to be released and we can speak about them more, but I see us expanding our application to scheduled services and expanding our coverage to 5 or 6 new cities.
Awesome. And are you currently raising capital, or are you just bootstrapping at this point, just out of your own pocket?
We bootstrapped, and then we got into Techstars, which was the beginning of our capital raise. We have demo day tomorrow, so depending on how that goes, we will see if we will continue to bootstrap or we will raise.
Great, yeah, and of course the Arch grants 50,000 helped out a little bit there.
Hugely, not a little bit. It helped out hugely, especially in our St. Louis market, because I feel like a lot more eyes are on us in St. Louis, where we are focused because of Arch grants. And Julie and Alfred have given us a lot of opportunity and made a lot of connections that have been really important for Eemerg.
Hey, Whitney, I had a quick question. So I didn't get to ask this, but how big is Eemerg? How many do you have? Developers? What's your staff look like?
We have a small team of 6, 1 developer. We have someone working on specifically on Google. We have another person working specifically on social. We have our accountant, business strategist, myself, and then our team of mentors, which are mostly St. Louis based, Quentin Ortega, Yvette Rodriguez, Doug Billard, just a great group of St. Louis entrepreneurs and movers and shakers. So yeah, we have a pretty small team right now. As far as the provider network, we have almost 1,100 providers covering 47 states. And we've grown at about 36% since starting Arch grants in November. And yeah, so that's our team, about a little bit over 1,000 providers and our team of 6.
Yeah, that's great.
And someone else asked here in Q&A, did you say that your husband developed your website?
So our website is WordPress. My husband developed our web apps. We have 3 web apps, 1 for providers, 1 for admins, and 1 for customers. And he has also developed our mobile apps, which are in the process of being released as we speak. As soon as Apple gives us the go-ahead, they will be in app stores.
Nice.
Great. Last thing I have here in Q&A was just a helpful note dropped by our friend Dwight Cox, saying that when you were talking about responding to the calls, that Esri has a platform, and that Waze Maps uses it to not just tell the closest way to get there, the easiest route, but with active traffic there as well. So Dwight dropped the link for that, so I'll make sure that gets in Whitney's hands, and thank you for that, Dwight.
Thank you, Dwight.
Excellent, Dwight. Thanks. Are there any other questions? I assume we can go open mic if BJ, if anybody else had any questions.
Yeah, just had one last one here is, after COVID, what is the first place you'll visit in St. Louis?
The T-Rex to open my office, because Mark has called me on it several times. But outside of T-Rex, the first place I will visit is probably Purpose Records, so that I can get a new tow truck, because my husband really wants one. So hopefully, probably Purpose or Chevron.
So Whitney, I assume you know or have done all aspects of the towing industry. Is that correct? I mean, you weren't just in the office taking orders. I mean, you drove the trucks?
I'm up at 3 a.m. now. If for whatever reason a provider can't make it, or no one responds, we respond to calls here in St. Louis. So if you may see me, if you have your keys locked in your car or you have a flat tire, that's the life of a startup. You very well may see all of this. Yeah. So yeah, I run every side of my business. No part is too big or too small. Anything from customer support to doing a service call, I'm hands-on 100%.
Yeah. And is there anything behind the name?
So Eemerg was almost called Towbid. My husband would have to tell you more about that, because that was his idea.
Biz?
TOBID, TOWBID, TOBIDs.
No.
But we came up with Eemerg because you're having an emergency and we're offering electronic emergency response. So that's why the double E's are in the front, electronic emergency Eemerg.
I like it. All right. Were there any others that got cast aside before you settled on that besides TOBID?
No, TOBID was a definite quick no. And then we put our heads together and came up with Eemerg.
That's awesome. All right. Any other last questions for Whitney? All right. So Whitney, again, I mean, thank you so much for educating us on what you're developing, and heck, the towing industry, as a whole. It's fascinating that you came from that industry and are doing stuff to make it better. So again, thank you so much for taking out the time to spend with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I love T-Rex. Like I said before, Kathleen is absolutely amazing and it's a joy to be around. So I look forward to being in the office more.
Yeah, well, we're looking forward to having you there, and you just wait till we get back 100% open. It is so much fun there. You'll never want to leave. So we're going to continue our series next month with the another Arch Grant recipient in geospatial. That's a company NER, NER. They do water management. It's integrated artificial intelligence, specifically machine learning. They're out of Kansas City, but now have some spaces at T-Rex. We're excited to have them. So that'll be next month. And one other thing I wanted to mention, if you aren't aware of this is a big deal for St. Louis and specifically for the geospatial community. So I think the official word was out today, but of course the Super Bowl for geospatial industry is called the Geoint Symposium. And St. Louis is going to host that in 2021. It was originally scheduled for Orlando, but has been shifted to St. Louis. It'll be October 5th through the 8th. And that is an absolute incredible opportunity for the city and the innovations community and for T-Rex to highlight our partners and our wonderful facilities. So we'll be trying to put something together really special to accommodate tours and programming and partying, because that's another big part of this symposium. So we should all start putting our heads together and get excited about this event. Hopefully we're all vaccinated by then, and we'll be back to somewhat of a normal cadence. So anyway, we should all be celebrating that, and we look forward to great events and great exposure to our companies. And anyway, that's all I have. And again, one last mention for the Geo Innovations National Speaker Series. We'll have Tony Frazier, the Executive Vice President of Maxar, and that is March the 3rd. So unless there's any last rounds, we are finished here. Thanks again, Whitney.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day, okay?